too. I'm like, I need a state trooper over here immediately. And she's talking into the radio. She's like, bring him over here, do it. And she's like, we could be like Bonnie and Clyde. Let's disappear. And I'm just trying to get through the night, and you just straight up, you know, caressed me. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. We had to take her. I would love to see the dash cam footage because we had to end up arresting her because he was trying. Even the state trooper was trying to work with her, but she was just too far gone. And we're taking her, and I'd love to see the dash cam because she kept yanking like really hard, and I kind of forget I'm like a bigger guy sometimes. She kept yanking to where she almost had my arm, like she was about to like yank my arm off. So I like went to readjust and pulled her back, but I pulled her a little too hard, and she went like she was like, "Oh fuck!" and she went flying across through the air and like face down, ass up, and I'm like standing there, I like my mouth went wide, and we had to help her up, and her husband was inside filling a missing person report. So
So she did
that
have a husband?
yeah, she did have a husband, and when we told him what happened, he did not seem surprised. So
Work that I do have, but let's go ahead and get this going, man. I don't want to keep it too long. Once again, I do appreciate you for, joining my platform.
I
Let's go
appreciate
ahead.
you got me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and get to it. Check, check, check. The places and assignments now. You are tuning into the lunch table. You got your boy Savo in there building. And I have another special guest, you know what I'm saying? Another winner in Island Fights 95. Definitely put on a great performance. Go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind, sir.
Robby Burns. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, just a up and coming fighter out of there. I'm with Harris Hope Martial Arts in Clarksville with Jacob Kilburn, and yeah, we got a good team over there, a bunch of young hustlers, and yeah, we're on the come up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you spoke on your roots in Nashville. Let's speak a little bit about your upbringing, your background, and what brought you to fighting.
Uh, well, when I was really young, I was a fat little kid, and I kind of went through bullying like most fighters do. So my dad got me into karate, and grew up doing the like karate point tournaments and stuff, and boxing. Um, Dabbled with a little bit of like jujitsu and judo and stuff along the way, but I always had like a passion for it. Like I watched Karate Kid like a million times over. I was in the backyard doing, the spinning kicks and all that crap. So I was always
San
super interested in it. Um, yeah. And then high school came along, and I was boxing, and I was doing like crap. Like we did these fight nights, like these backyard fights. And I'm like, I was asking like grown men to come fight, like not out of disrespect, just because I love doing it. And when I went into the Marine Corps, I initially planned on pursuing the Marine Corps boxing team, and along the way that just switched, and I was like I have a lot of love and respect for boxing, but I was like I want to do a fight that has like all variables in it. So just went the MMA route. Learned some hard lessons along the way, but it's been a fun journey. So yeah, it's kind of where it went.
So definitive. Around what year did you start MMA?
20, dang, 2018 is where I like decided to start pursuing it. I was training like I'd always trained MMA on and off, like popping into gyms and like doing what I could. Um, but I was more interested in boxing at the time. And then yeah, 2018 is where I was like trying to consistently train. I mean, life was crazy. I was going in the Marine Corps and everything, so it was kind of crazy at that time. So, but that's when the inspiration, the fire started, or whatever you want to call it.
No, definitely for sure. When it comes to this craft or these crafts, different crafts of fighting, boxing specifically, I would say, it comes with a lot of discipline. With MMA, of course, as well, it comes with a lot of discipline. And in most cases, that discipline is instilled in a fighter in their youth. I'm hearing Marine Corps that eludes discipline. You know what I'm saying? So
There.
uh, it's spews discipline. So where did that discipline, or when was that discipline embedded in you or instilled in you to where you actually took up all of these different lanes, or was it you stumbling into the military that cultivated that discipline that's needed for this craft?
It was before. It was before the military. I'd say my dad grew up. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but do you know back in the day when they did like those tough man competitions and stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah, my dad like competed in those and everything. Like my dad was very involved in fighting. He's like known around the town and stuff. And I kind of had it from him, and then he passed away my senior year, and I was just like, it just got me like locked in, like so, with the military, with everything. So I had to learn along the way. Like up until honestly recently, I haven't had much help. It's been like in the Marine Corps, I was bouncing around gyms. I didn't have any guidance, and just trying to evolve my skills and learn what I had to learn on my own. But I always was disciplined. I was committed. I had a schedule. Now, was it the best schedule for what I needed? 'Cause, I took some losses early on and stuff.
Mhm.
It definitely probably wasn't. But once I got that guidance and that help, it's just like skyrocketed. So it's
Mhm.
helped a lot. But it's been there since day one, before the military for sure.
As of today, what's your record?
I'm 1 and 2 as a pro.
1 and 2 as a pro. What about amateur?
Amateur was 4 and 3 or 5 and 3, something like that.
Mm.
The last one was a no contest, and then I was supposed to fight again with a gentleman, and he ended up he fell out the week of. So I was just like, I was just ready to take it pro. Which, looking back now with the timeline and personal life and everything, definitely wasn't a good idea. But hey, we'll make up for it in the long run.
Well, being that you have experience on both sides of the win loss card, in your experience, what's the best way to deal with the loss?
I mean, this fighting thing, like we're floating on a rock. Like this will be, like life is very short and everything. Like this is, I of course I don't want to lose, and I've hated all. I would love now to go back through every guy I fought and have a rematch in this day and time.
Mhm.
I think it would be a lot different. But I mean, at the end of the day, you go out there, you try your best, you prepare the best you can, and in that moment, it's kind of whatever God wants. Whatever is intended to happen. I just accept it. I accept all my losses and everything. So some and a couple of them were really very crappy circumstances. So I just you do your best in that moment, and whatever's meant to happen happens.
For sure, for sure. Of your fights so far, who has been your toughest opponent?
Ooh, that's a tricky one like because it was different circumstances and fights. I on my best day, if you lined up all the opponents, I would say even though this is probably the only guy that we kind of have a beef. Um, I would probably say Wallace McCoy. He was my last amateur, and going into that fight, like 10 seconds into the fight, I punched him, and I had a really bad labrum tear going into the fight, and they saw my shoulder come out, and they stopped the fight. But I do think on my best day, lined up with all them, I don't really like him, but I do think he's a good opponent. He would be tough, but I'm hoping we can run that back at some point in the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Two-part question. I usually say this for a little bit later, but I think it's good for now. Of your performances, can you detail your best performance and your worst performance?
Ooh, yeah, that's it. Man, you got some good questions. Worst performance. Worst performance was definitely my pro debut.
Mm.
I do think that was outlying circumstances. Everybody has excuses, so it doesn't really matter. But um, I was I had a very bad weight cut. I'm a big 85er. It's a mission cutting to 85, and I had a very bad weight cut. And afterwards, I took something to help me sleep. Not gonna say what it was. I didn't know what it was. It was given to me, and let's just say I went into the fight very, very sick, and
Sluggish.
pretty much knew I was gonna lose. I was going to the cage. I was like, man, I'm hoping some adrenaline or something to shake this off. It didn't, and I was like, when he was kind of, when the bell rang, I was like, oh man, this is bad. So I'd say that was my worst performance. But when I was actually like, I felt like somewhat prepared. My
Mhm.
worst performance was probably against David Hayes and my amateur. I was winning the fight. Um, he kind of got saved by the bell in the first round, and then in the second, I was still winning, controlling the fight, and I ended up making a stupid mistake and got caught in a guillotine. So
Mm.
I'd say that would have been, yeah, those two.
But the first fight was more so you were still sort of impaired rather than, you know what I'm saying, the ability.
I have pictures of it. You can see me getting my hands wrapped back, and I'm like falling asleep, drooling. It was. I'm not gonna say what it was, and also it's my fault for taking it. I'm not blaming it on anybody, and it was a bad weight cut too. But taking what I took, taking what was given to me after a tremendously hard weight cut, and just in general, when you don't take that stuff, is it had an effect. So I think you asked about best performance. I'd
Yeah,
say
best
that was my,
performance.
yeah, I'd say I was definitely against actually this last one, John Gunther.
Mm.
Because I mean, it was kind of do or die for me. Like I didn't want to. I know the potential I have. Like I know the people I work with, and it was like, man, I don't want to go 0-3. And it was in. He's kind of a main stable fighter for island fighters. He's a great fighter. He's a dog, and like he's done pretty well so far. And I was like, I gotta walk. I gotta get it done. And he came out hard and threw some overhands and stuff, and was trying to get me down. And I think the momentum shifted pretty quickly, and yeah, I did what needed to be done, and I felt really good. So yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking about that momentum shift, of course, giving respect to John Gunther,
oh yeah,
and yeah, and initially, it started off as a war. You know, what I'm saying he came
yeah,
prepared for business, and so
yeah.
did yourself. Was there any moment where you definitively and you can pick up a timestamp where you did feel a momentum shift, or you felt um a level of separation, you would say?
Say it was like about 2 minutes in, he just kept trying that body lock and he kept trying to drag down. And I mean, everybody I fought, they try to get me down, so I've kind of had to get better at like take anti wrestling and everything. And I kept hitting him with little knees and stuff, and I think that was having an effect on him, slowly deteriorating. And I think when we separated, well, I got him in the corner and I hit him. I came up over the top of like two elbows, and we separated. I could tell, he was starting to get tired, and I started popping the jab and moving forward. And I think he went to throw. He throws the overhand a lot, and I timed it. And my knees, like I have such long legs, and I was a couple inches taller. I just popped my knee up and like bounced it off his chin, and then hit him with like a six-piece combo, and then another flying knee. And at that moment, like I just knew, like he was hanging on to just hang on, and I knew it was like the end was coming. So I'd say like about 2 minutes in when the wrestling wasn't working for him.
What do you prefer, the finish or decision?
Finish. I want to like definitively, but I would like to go a full fight, like
Mhm.
a full 3 round fight, 15 minutes in, because I will say like the end of that first round, even though it was a pretty fast pace, like I didn't feel like one bit tired. It pumped me up when I was like seeing the momentum shift. It gave me energy. So I would love
Mhm.
to go. I think it would be good for experience and everything to just get more time in there competing. But I just I want to like have a stamp on it. I don't want to win by some close decision or something. I want to finish that person.
Mhm. Now we spoke about your best performances and your worst performance. Now this next question can come from either or it can come from one that people may have glanced over. But which fight taught you the most about yourself as a fighter?
I'd say the second fight I had was this was another very good opponent. My amateur debut, I fought. He was like 6'10". I remember at weigh-ins there, I was like, "Where is this guy?" And they're like, "That's him. He's ducking his head under the doorway." So he looked scary. wasn't like very good, but I beat him in 50 seconds. And at that time, like I never lost a fight and all that, blah blah blah. And I had a bit of an ego when I was younger. I was like 19, and now I strive like I'm big on being humble, but they were like, "Would you want to fight Blake Perry?" And Blake Perry had like 14 amateur fights already, and he was about to. This was his last. I was his last amateur before he went pro, and he was a Ohio State champ wrestler. And he came straight out the gate. It was my first time cutting to 85, and he was putting it on me. He was picking me up and slamming me. And even though I did lose the fight, I like dug deep. I never fought somebody at that level, and I dug deep, and I mean, I kept getting up. I dropped him with a head kick at one point. I knew from that fight, even though it didn't go my way, I knew like I had that heart. I just had to keep developing my skill and developing my wrestling and everything like that. Like I knew if I get to the point where I can stop this wrestling and get my overall grappling better, like these guys, like it's going to be a really hard night for them. So fighting a high level guy like that showed me a lot, even though man, his wrestling was good.
No, for
He
sure, for
picked me
sure.
up. He picked me up. I didn't even know how to like wizard and pummel at the time and go for underhooks. And he went. We got straight in the cage and he popped me with a cross and like did a straight line blitz and got me up against the cage. And I just started going up and I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. But it was actually a very good fight. It just yeah, it was
Nah, I
like
feel that. Definitely sounds like one that I wish I could have saw myself.
yeah.
How many? Mhm.
It's not
No, we
on
just
YouTube, unfortunately.
shit.
Yeah,
Damn,
it's a
damn.
good one.
Yeah, I'm definitely a researcher for sure. How many island fights do you have under your belt?
That was my first one. That was my first opportunity with Island Fights. I'm really hoping to get on the May 22nd card. I've probably been bugging Will about it. I think Island Fights is a great promotion and pipeline to get that exposure and everything. And but yeah, that was my very first fight, so I wanted to have a good performance.
Yeah, the latter of what you were saying was the second part of my question. I was going to ask, being that it is your first time with them, what is it like fighting under this promotion opposed to other places?
I thought they were awesome. They conducted it very well. We had a big space to train in. They were yeah, it was really good. How they do the weigh-ins and face-offs, I like that, like their setup and everything. I
Mhm.
thought I really like Island Fights, and they're a pretty good sized promotion. I feel like they get a lot of exposure, and the way they do their social medias and everything, it's just a good promotion to compete for. And I like the ring setup. It reminds me of like old Pride style or something. So I just think it's cool.
For
So,
sure, for sure. Now, in addition to fighting, of course, you're an executive protection agent.
oh yeah, yes sir.
How long have you worked in security, man? And can you detail and contextualize the difference between just a security guard and an executive protection agent?
Yeah, I've been doing security pretty consistently for 4 years now. When I first got out, when I first came out of the military, I was planning on doing, besides like pursuing fighting, I was planning on doing personal training and fitness training and stuff. And I did that for a little while, but I was always doing security on the side. And then I went into it, and yeah, I kind of hit it at all levels. I've done unarmed, like some really crazy. You do some crazy gigs if you venture into the security world, like some weird, shady, unarmed stuff. I've done executive protection. I've worked for several really high up people. I
Can you
still,
name drop?
I mean, a couple months ago, I had to do a canine check on Kobe Covington, Bryce
Mm,
Mitchell, Jordan Peterson, Jelly
okay.
Rowe. So yeah, it's a lot of people, and yeah, there's a big distinct difference though between security and executive protection. I feel like executive protection is what every security guard strives to get to because the money for one, and but you have to have professionalism, and I will say like some levels of security, not every security guard has that professionalism or the look. Like I think appearance is the way you carry yourself in security is a big factor, and you don't you
No
just got
facts.
yeah.
No facts. You walking down the street, your ass look like one of the agents of Shield. Goddamn. So
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
yeah.
want to aim for. So I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know if you've ever dabbled in security, but
No.
you'll see it. Like I've seen it before, where you have the iconic mall cop look, where the person's just sitting there on their phone scrolling, doesn't look like they could do anything in a serious situation. And like I've been training, just outside of fighting and everything. I mean, I've been around guns since I was a little kid, so. Um, you got to have in executive protection especially you got to have like that capability and professionalism and that awareness is a big thing.
Mm. To be a potential agent of Shield.
Yeah.
What? Give me one of or some of your craziest stories being in that field.
Whew. This was actually a security gig. Like it wasn't executive protection. Have you ever heard of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville?
No.
Okay, it's like a big thing. It's a big platform for like country music stars, and it's a huge place. Like a normal night, there's like 1,600 people there who come for a show. That's like a casual night. Well, Jelly Roll had his debut concert there, and there was a double show, and the first rotation was like 4,500 people, and the second rotation was like another 4,500 people. So there's like 9,000 people to watch over. And it was after his first show, this ambassador came up to me and she was like, "Hey, there's like a drunk lady by the tour bus area." And I'm like, "Crap." And I walk over and it's like some lady in like a leopard print dress, high heels, stumbling all around, trying to open random vehicles. And I go up, I'm like, "Ma'am, like, do you have anybody here with you, like a husband, a son, just so she doesn't get in trouble and they can take care of her." And she just keeps being like a smart aleck and stuff. And eventually, I asked if she had a husband again, and she was like, "No, but you can be mine or something." And like straight up rope, like grabbed. I didn't know it was coming, but straight up, grabbed that area. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm trying to radio, and I'm like, because there's state troopers there too. I'm like, I need a state trooper over here immediately. And she's talking into the radio. She's like, "Bring them over here, do it." And they come, she's like, "We could be like Bonnie and Clyde. Let's disappear." And I'm just trying to get through the night, and you just straight up, you know, caressed me. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. We had to take her. I would love to see the dash cam footage because we had to end up arresting her because he was trying. Even the state trooper was trying to work with her, but she was just too far gone. And we're taking her, and I'd love to see the dash cam because she kept yanking like really hard, and I kind of forget I'm like a bigger guy sometimes. She kept yanking to where she almost had my arm, like she was about to like yank my arm off. So I like went to readjust and pulled her back, but I pulled her a little too hard, and she went like she was like, "Oh fuck!" and she went flying across the through the air and like face down, ass up, and I'm like standing there, I like my mouth went wide, and we had to help her up, and her husband was inside filling a missing person report. So
So she did
that
have a husband?
yeah, she did have a husband, and when we told him what happened, he did not seem surprised. So it probably wasn't the first rodeo.
Bro, that's one of my worst fears is settling or linking or ending up with a woman that can't control herself in public.
Yeah, I would be very embarrassed if I was him, but she was extremely intoxicated. It was pretty bad. So that's like the funniest story I think I have. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's great. As far as that particular gig, is it an agency or company that's booked for the Jelly Roll show, or were you working directly via
Oh,
Jelly Roll?
that was a company. That was a company that they cover down. The Grand Ole Opry is like one of their clients. So that yeah, we had a company that covered down on that. That wasn't a executive protection type setup. So I mainly, honestly, I'd say right at this moment, I mainly work security, and then when executive protection opportunities pop up, I'm also like available for those as well. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty big into security. I am looking at possibly trying to get into another venture. I want to get into firefighting, so we'll see what plays out. Though I might just stay with security.
that's what's up. I wanted to ask that just to distinctly know before I go to clickbait in the captions and the title. Working security for Jelly Roll. Nah, you know, it's Jelly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jelly Roll's
Back,
cool, man. He's lost a lot of weight.
nah, for sure, for sure. Back to you as well. Kind of a good segue. Back to you as a fighter. Can you explain your training and what your diet looks like?
Right now, I'm like honed in with, like I said, I'm with Jacob Kilburn. He was in the UFC just a couple years ago. He's a UFC vet, PFL vet. He's undefeated on island fights, like 5-0. I think he was the champ. And then one of my training partners is Alexander Shank, and that dude's a stud. He's the same age as me, 25. He's young. He's on the verge of going to the UFC. He might show up to seal the deal on island fights though. If they, I really think they should take that opportunity because Xander, that he's a real talent. But yeah, they just got me locked in on a schedule. They want to keep me around. I can blow up to like 230, 240 easily. Like I fought at heavyweight 3 or 4 times. Like I've fought all over. So I'm trying to keep my walk around right now around like 205 to 210. we'll say right now I've had to starve myself the last 8 weeks, so I'm kind of I'm kind of dabbling with the bad food, but I'm about to get back on diet, and I'm still like working out and running, so staying on with that, staying on a clean carnivore diet. I usually do a carnivore diet, and yeah, train. I like to train 5 to 6 days a week. I
Mhm.
kind of listen to. I've learned to listen to my body over time dealing with injuries, but 5 to 6 days a week. Usually take an active recovery day, and then back at it.
No, that's what's up. And I heard you earlier stating that you wish to be on the card next month, so you want to get right back to it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, May 22nd. I would not the May 9th, but the May 22nd. I'd love to get back to it. I think that's like the earliest I'd want to fight. But if it's island fights and they get the opportunity, like yeah, I would love to be back on island fights. And yeah, I'm hoping to fight 2 to 3 more times this year, and by the end of the year, being a much just yeah, really be like have that momentum. So have 3 to 4 wins this year.
No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Are you ever nervous before a fight? What are your nerves like before a fight?
Usually not. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I am, and then sometimes the Sunday of fight week, I'm like, oh crap, here we are, and why did I put myself in this situation? But then other times I'm like with the John Gunther fight, I was even though it was kind of like do or die in my mind, I was kind of chilling. Like I was pretty calm about it until, I mean, the weight cut really sucked, but up until when we were in the ring, I was like, of course, I had a little bit of jitters, but just that adrenaline going, but it's kind of back and forth. One fight I might be nervous, the next one I might be fine. So
Mhm.
yeah, 50-50.
No problem. Give me your top five fighters of all time.
Oof. Uh, I go this over my head all the time. He's kind of fell from grace. Yeah, I know he's had his moments the last few years, but prime Conor McGregor like has come up. Are we talking about talent or like who inspired me? Like who
This
I like?
is your subjective list.
Okay, yeah. Like Conor McGregor, I would love to see him come and just get like 1 or 2 more wins and then call it a day. Like his come up really like it was pretty inspirational. I love Nick Diaz, his backstory and his come up in the fights he put on, like the Paul Daly fight that he put
Mhm.
on doesn't get enough credit. That was carnage. And Donald Cerrone, he lost. He had some losses, but he fought like you look at the dudes he fought. I mean, he went through killers row. He fought everybody, and he was always willing to step up. Um, 4 and 5. John Jones. I'm a big fan of John Jones. I know he's controversial at times, but I mean, yeah, John Jones, and then Rampage Jackson. I love Rampage. He's hilarious. I watch some of his streams.
Facts.
Dude's a comedian.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
and
That's
he's
for
from
sure.
Memphis, so he's kind of like sort of in my neck in the wood. I'm
Okay.
following him sometimes.
All
So
right. I get okay. I can see that. I can see that for sure. And he's
yeah,
definitely justified for anyone's list.
yeah.
What was or what is still today the best fight that you can recall that you've ever seen yourself with your own two eyes?
Ooh. So can it be on TV or like in
Yeah.
person? Okay.
Yeah.
Best fight I've seen with my own 2 eyes. I don't want to go to the generic like Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald, but of course that popped in my head. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie. This probably doesn't have the. This probably shouldn't be like somebody. I don't know. I don't know if it gets talked about enough, but I loved McGregor versus Diaz too. Like the build up to that, and then the fight was like crazy. Like McGregor was dominating in the beginning, and then he got winded, and Diaz comes back, and the bloodbath that it was. I think I've watched that fight probably like 30 times.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. A two-part question. Let's get a little controversial, bro. In your opinion, can you name the most overrated fighter and the most underrated fighter?
Most overrated, in my opinion, is Ian Gary. I will say he has a very high fight IQ and he knows how to win, but I think his way of winning is running around the cage and just slightly outpointing somebody to a decision. But he is a great fighter. I mean, world level. I just think he's a tad bit overrated. And then underrated. Honestly, Pantoja doesn't get talked about enough. Like I know he just had that freak injury, but he doesn't get like the flowers he deserves. I feel like. I mean, he was going through everybody. we didn't see the fight, but I just feel like he would have went through Joshua Van if that freak injury didn't happen. So I'm excited to see them run that back.
Of not necessarily calling it a weakness, but what's something that you had to consistently work on in training?
Wrestling. I didn't
Mm.
grow up on a wrestling. I went to a little single A school out here, and we didn't have a wrestling team. So everybody tries to wrestle with me because I mean I have decent, I have pretty flashy striking and everything. So wrestling, but it's gotten tremendously better in the last couple of years, like anti wrestling, my overall grappling. So yeah, that was definitely the initial weakness, though. I'm always trying to bulletproof it.
Mm. Now you mentioned initially, briefly when introducing yourself and speaking about your background, but can you fully shout out your team, man? Who do you train under, and give some shout outs to the fighters and up and coming stars that they're brewing?
Yeah, of course. So I'm with Harris Hope Martial Arts in Clarksville, Tennessee. Best gym in Clarksville, best gym in Tennessee. We got Jacob Kilburn, like I said, UFC vet, PFL vet. Um, and we got then one of my main training partners is Alexander Shank. He's on the verge. He just had two back-to-back finishes, one with APFC and another one with LFA. He's on the verge. I think he may get the call to be on Dana White's Contender Series, but I'd like to. We've talked about it. Maybe he does one more to seal the deal. Because if he does one more, I mean, he's had some crazy finishes. But he's a special talent. Then he fought on the card. He ended up losing, but the kid's got a ton of potential. He's only 20 years old. Benjamin Blair. He fought. I think he fought Anthony. I believe his name's Anthony Weaver. Um, and he did lose, but that kid's got a ton of talent. Everybody there is great, great community. And anybody who happens to watch this, if you're in Tennessee, you should totally come train there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Give me the biggest robbery that ever happened in a fight. Robbery.
It's actually the biggest robbery I've seen is John Gunther's last fight. He should have been a 3-0 pro in our fight. That dude, the Montrell James guy he fought, I think he decisively won all 3 rounds. I think in the third round, Montrell put up a tad bit more of a fight than he did in the first two, but there was really nothing he did. That's the biggest robbery I've seen. UFC standards, I'd say Sean Strickland and DDP won, or GSP and crap, what's his name? GSP and dang, I forgot the guy's name. He fought him way back in the day, and everybody talks about it being a huge robbery. It was one of his last title defenses at welterweight. It was his
I
last
wish
title.
I, I wish I knew. I
Yeah,
wish I knew.
I'd say that. I'd say those three. But yeah, John. I think John got. He should have been a. It should have been his first professional loss with me, because the last one, I think anybody watches that fight, like, you see what I mean.
No, for sure. For sure. Now we speak about training, we speak about your diet and your discipline, but and we even speak about how your difference in performances, how your difference in performance is when you're mentally impaired. But just when you're locked in, speaking about when you're specifically locked in fight mode, can you illustrate your fight mode, what that looks like, what that consists of, what it takes to enter, and what all it takes, and how long does it take for you to exit fight mode?
Man, I had the adrenaline this last one. Like, I had the adrenaline up until like Monday. I don't know. I was like wired, but um, yeah, when I feel good, it ain't no ill will towards my opponent or anything, but I like want to go in there and just be a sniper and just find that finish, no matter how I have to do it. And I don't want to go in there and play patty cake and like get a decision or like lay and pray on somebody. Like, I want to find a crazy finish, because that's the things you need nowadays to like be exclusive. It doesn't matter if you win. I feel like even if you're undefeated and stuff, if you're just laying, praying, and humping somebody's leg, like yeah, sure, that's good, but it's going to be a much slower road than somebody who goes in there and puts in like exciting fights and like goes for the kill. And I want to do that, but not do it in a brawler style. I want to look sharp. I want to come out unscathed. I came out a little bloody on this one, but I didn't really take any actual damage. So yeah, fight mode usually I'd say lasts a couple of days for me, and um, yeah, I just guess locked in just described it. Just
Mhm.
feel, yeah, locked in.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. because you were speaking about your feelings and the, I don't say anxiety, but the just anxiousness of the week of the fight, or that Sunday when a fight week starts. Let's dig deeper into fight week. What changes happened in you rather, your schedule, just your attitude, your demeanor? What does fight week look like?
I become pretty cranky. So fight week, like I said, I cut a lot of weight. Like when I first started this weight cut, I was at 248. My last fight, if you go and look, my last professional fight was at heavyweight. I fought Zachary. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's like the number one pro in like three different states. We had a great fight. I just ended up getting tired, but yeah, I don't know why I really even fought at heavyweight. I was just like dead set. I'm not cutting weight to 85 anymore. But anyways, yeah, on an 85 weight cut week, it's water loading. Sunday it's 2.5 gallons of water. The food for that week is unseasoned chicken, small portions. Same for eggs, no salt or anything because we do a sodium flush, and it like shocks the body where it'll release the water. And yeah, and then Thursday I try to get everything in by like everything in my body by around 1 or 2 o'clock at latest, and then it's no food or water until weigh-ins that next day. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I'm a fat boy at heart. Yeah.
What's your top three favorite meals?
If I was on death row and they asked me what my last meal would be, it would be um, I'm not really. I love cheeseburgers from anywhere, but three like a triple patty smash burger, with some curly fries. Actually, no, I'll do crinkle cut, and then like a milkshake and a soda. Yeah, that's like my go-to. But I love. There's not really any foods I don't like besides like pimento cheese or some shit. So
Milkshake and soda, bro. I mess with you,
yeah.
boy.
Oh yeah, man. I love food. We should all be able to eat. Yeah.
other than your crafts and professions, bro. What type of hobbies are you interested in? What type of interest do you have outside of fighting?
I love fitness just in general. I feel like it's like my like therapy. It gives me mental clarity. I love the outdoors. I love going hiking, camping. I love shooting guns. Anything to help me, also with like the security realm and everything. But I also enjoy it. Um, I'm trying to get back into fishing this year. I used to really enjoy fishing, but it's been a few years because of military. But I plan on getting back into that. So yeah, I love a lot of outdoor stuff and like hanging out with my dog, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of me. I like movies too. Like yeah, damn, I like a lot of shit. No, I'd say those are like my main hobbies: fitness and like outdoors and eating food.
What's your favorite fight movie?
Southpaw. I love that movie.
Mm.
Yeah, Southpaw. Everybody's my coach like told me actually told me this last fight week that I need to really watch Bloodsport because that's like an iconic
You
movie. I
never
haven't.
seen Bloodsport?
Uh, uh,
How old are
I
you?
need it. I've heard it's crazy. I'm 25.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's like one of the go-tos. I just haven't got the chance. I've never seen a movie with John Claude Van Damme. I've never seen a movie with him in it. Yeah, I know
I
who he
mean,
is. I just haven't seen it.
yeah, but then again, like I say, in certain generations, that is not necessarily asking a lot because a lot of content has come out since then. So where it's like
Yeah,
you guys don't necessarily need to go back to be entertained. At one
right.
point, what was just good television from the 70s or 60s to the 2000s, it stayed on TV. So if it was
Right.
just good programs, we watched it. But shit, now it's like we got so much shit we really don't need to go back to the 80s. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I grew up on Bloodsport. I'm not that old, but yeah, it was still on TV when I was growing up. I definitely grew up on Bloodsport. And Bolo was my guy. Bolo was
I,
my guy for sure.
I see. I don't even know who that is, man.
he's
That's
he's a
crazy.
yeah, he's like the Asian bad guy in Bloodsport. He's real buff
Oh,
with a
yeah,
big chest. That's Bolo.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
watch it. I'm planning on watching it here very soon. I actually need to Google what streaming app it's on and see if like Hulu or something or like Prime carries it because I really do want to watch it. But Another one I'd say I love the Rockies.
I
I love
love
the
it.
Rockies, Creeds. I love the Karate Kids. Like I grew up on all those, but I just think Southpaw. Like if I think if somebody was like, oh, play a fighter movie, I'd probably play Southpaw because it's just
For
like
sure.
great storytelling.
For sure, for sure. I'm like that with Undisputed. Undisputed is my favorite fight movie of all time, even though I have so many fight movies that I love. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, Bolo for just for the viewers. Bolo, he was one of the most famous Asian bodybuilders from back in like the 70s and
I
80s
have
and
to
shit.
check
So,
that out.
yeah,
I've heard a lot of crazy things about that movie. I'm excited to watch it.
especially for the time, you know what I'm saying? Back then, man, Bolo.
Yeah, he yoked. Yeah, he had wings, slats popping out. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look it up because the '80s do it different. Like the good movies from the '80s, they stay good.
yeah. Now, definitely, like it's for its time. It's for its time. A lot of things back then, of course, if you didn't grow up on it and you compare it to things that have came out since then, you're gonna have kind of a filtered view. So
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't imagine it to hit the same for anyone that was born after 2000 that has seen it for the first time in 2026.
Yeah,
You might like it. You may very well like it.
I
May
love a
very well.
lot of movies from the old. Some of my favorite movies are movies from like the '90s
Mhm.
or early 2000s. So I'm sure I will.
Yeah, not for sure. But yeah, with blood sport moves like that, other than the actual like action scenes, not really much to the movie.
Yeah,
It's another Kumite like Mortal Kombat type, which is tournament. But yeah,
I gotta
but
watch it at this point.
oh no, that's just shit. Nigga, I want to watch blood sport now, especially yeah when John Cloud when he go blind.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I wish I could fight like him. Good lord.
I was showing my age.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I was gonna say. Oh, what type of music do you listen to during training or even before a fight?
It's kind of funny because I'm country. You hear my accent and everything. Everybody's like, he's a country boy and everything. But I love rap. I love rap. I love rock. That's kind of my go-tos. I kind of like all music. I like bits and pieces of all music. Like, of course, I like some country too. But like, if I'm in like a fight mode and I'm like wanting to be pumped up and locked in, I'm listening to like rap or rock. Definitely like those two genres of music.
Hmm.
So
Nothing wrong with that. Now I'm not gonna keep you too long, but I do want to revisit a question because it was right when we had that disruption. What I was saying is, shout out to Brian Creel. Interviewed him a few months ago. He should be coming back soon, but he told me that it's a lot of fake tough guys in a tough sport, which is what I'm saying means a lot of people duck fights. They're scared.
yeah,
In your opinion, do you see a lot of fake tough guys in a tough sport, and have you experienced that head on?
yeah. I think there's a ton of it. I mean, I think anybody who does this sport is tough, but I think there's even a lot of like guys with like flashy records that are undefeated. But if you look at the dudes they're fighting, they're with a promotion that's padding. I mean, there's a possible fight I may. There's an offer I have that it isn't with Island Fights, but no disrespect to the dude, but like the last guy he fought, he's 2-0 pro, but the last dude he fought was a 0-3 pro, and he was like 0-6, and he's never won a singular fight, and he looked like a 155 or at 185, like he was. I think he was like 5'7" and didn't have the frame of a big dude either. Like he wasn't thick or anything. So it's just like a lot of guys like want to do this sport and look at and be like, look at me, Mr. Tough Guy, but they have like you see the competition of what they're fighting. Like, yeah, I have some losses and like for sure, but I have always fought since day one in active duty Marine Corps. Like I've always fought like the best in the state, the best guys around. And at those times, like I do wish I had guidance because I probably was doing it at premature. Like I wasn't really in a situation to be prepared for them. But like I try to fight the best. Like if you're gonna do the sport, why fight somebody that you're? I mean, it would be crazy if you lose to. So definitely a lot of record patters around in the sport. That's what I see. Are they tough? Yeah, they're still tough. They're doing the sport, but like they want to look like big macho man and stuff. So I just think
Mhm.
that only goes so far. Like once you get exposed, it's kind of donezo from there.
For sure, for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming through, bro. Last question on the way out, man. What do you have to say to aspiring fighters? people that see the sport, they may be fans of it, but they haven't necessarily sparred a day in their life. What
Yeah,
you have to say to those people?
man, wherever you are, just find somebody in the community. I mean, we're in a day and age where MMA is not as rare as it used to be. There's gyms. Find a gym that you like. Keep good people around you. Get a circle around you. Don't try to do it by yourself. It's a lot harder. Have guidance around you from people who have done it, and yeah, just don't let like you have doubters. If you have haters, don't feed into that. Just keep doing your thing, and it will pay off if you're putting the work in. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But once again, I do appreciate you blessing the
yes, sir.
platform for this interview. I wish you great luck in the future. Once again, congratulations on your performance last week. Tell the people where they can find you one last time, sir.
Instagram is burns.robby. Facebook's like I think Robert Burns. Got my government name going on. And yeah, it's I have TikTok. I don't really use it, but yeah, those two. And then yeah, check out Harris Hope Martial Arts. Check out Jacob Kilburn. Check out Xander Shank. Check all those guys out. You'll see them through my platforms too. If you, because I can't spit off their platforms right now, but yeah, man, check all them out. And yeah, thanks for anyone who's watching, and I appreciate you for having me on.
For sure, bro. Signing out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Have a good one, bro.